Are Chinese spies making a coordinated effort to take pictures of sensitive places in America? Are they distracting or tying up American resources, thereby making it easier for them to hit another target? Things are looking a little bit weird on this one, and it definitely kind of looks like perhaps it is a coordinated effort. They all kind of have the basic background of not a casual tourist, all taking pictures in sensitive areas. Let's read this and we'll go through it, but definitely something we should all be kind of maybe aware of, huh? Were these 6 Chinese trespassers confused tourists or spies? The FBI wants to know. Inquiring minds want to know. On Wednesday afternoon in mid-December, a Chinese woman entered the grounds of President Donald Trump's private Mar-a-Lago club in Florida through a service entrance and snapped photos on her cell phone. "Who is Mar-a-Lago?" she said in court following her arrest. And she wasn't the first woman to somehow wind up on Mar-a-Lago. There was another woman as well earlier in 2018, I think, that had gone on to Mar-a-Lago. So 2 ladies had gone on there. And then, who is Mar-a-Lago? Come on. Really, lady? Really? You don't know what Mar-a-Lago is? You're there and you don't know what Mar-a-Lago is? That right there would raise red flags to me. That would sound like, that's like an excuse you hear on a sitcom TV, you know? 8 days later, a Chinese student walked around a perimeter fence at a U.S. naval base in Key West, taking pictures of government buildings. Stopped by police, he said he was trying to capture images of the sunrise. Yeah. Sure, and not only the first one at that particular base either. There was another incident earlier that year at that same base as well. And 9 days after that, 2 more Chinese students drove past a guard at the same naval base. When stopped by security 30 minutes later, they voluntarily displayed the videos and photos they took of the base. Were the incidents isolated cases of tourists mistakenly taking photos in sensitive locations? Or could some or all of the individuals be part of a spy operation run out of Beijing? Things definitely do look a little bit suspicious, especially since none of them had the typical background of a typical tourist. They all had extenuating backgrounds of some sort. That to me raises a lot of red flags as well. Federal authorities are now working to answer those questions. FBI counterintelligence agents are investigating whether the spat of incidents might be part of a coordinated espionage effort, according to a U.S. official and a person familiar with the matter. And it is something that is out of the ordinary, usually in places like these and naval bases that have universities or whatnot that have exchange students and Chinese students. Believe it or not, they are very sensitive about going to those areas. They won't go there because they are sensitive of being accused of that sort of thing. In total, 4 Chinese men have been arrested for trespassing and taking photos at the Naval Air Station in Key West since September 2018. And 2 Chinese women have been arrested for trespassing at Mar-a-Lago since March 2019. So it was March 2019. "Coincidences take a lot of planning," said Frank Figliuzzi, a former FBI assistant director for counterintelligence. "These type of brazen and repeated attempts to breach security at 2 separate facilities in the same region are highly unusual and worthy of serious inquiry by our intelligence community, said Figliuzzi, who is an NBC News analyst. Yeah, and it is. It's definitely worth looking into because it is something that is highly unlikely, highly unusual. I would tend to think that it probably was coordinated, especially if it's something that is out of the ordinary. This is something that doesn't happen very often, and all of a sudden now you have it repeatedly happening. That would be like, okay, wait, hold on, what? Something is going on. Something more to this story. It's going to be a while before they tell us, I guarantee you that. They're not going to leak it for a while. These attempts could be a distraction from some greater targeting or an attempt to tie up federal resources in an area responsible for securing the president's residence, he said. This could also be an attempt to test the Trump administration's ability to react to targeting by one of our greatest adversaries. And it could be. It could be them just kind of testing a little bit, seeing what's going on. The only reason you would send someone from Mar-a-Lago, it's not a military base per se. Is it going to have some security on there, yes, but Mar-a-Lago was built before Trump was president. So it's not going to have like a big bunker underneath, so it's not like they're looking for anything like that. It doesn't have a scientific anything there, so it's not like they're looking for that. To me, it would seem like they were either testing the response time, perhaps looking at to see if they could find patterns of how they defend him, just things like that. Not just, but things like that. You don't just saunter onto a base like that, and individual Chinese students are extremely risk-averse to this kind of thing. And they are. They're very self-conscious. I've been in situations where I was around several exchange students in various different situations, and yeah, they are very self-conscious about that. They really are, which is kind of an interesting thing. I wonder if our exchange students, when they go overseas, are as self-conscious, like, hey, I don't want anybody to think anything of me. So, and that's the basic attitude that I've seen as a whole with exchange students. I did a year-long internship at Disney World for culinary arts, and man, there were people from all around the world there. And yeah, you had drinking and things like that, and a little bit different from over there because they're used to drinking, but overall, they're very conscious about not breaking the law, quite honestly. They know the eyes are on them. Let's see. All of these people are in the same location, are Chinese, have cameras, and backgrounds that are not those of casual tourists. And not just phone cameras, just regular cameras. They weren't on phone cameras. It was regular cameras. All of them. All of them. Okay, we are in 2020. When you go on vacation, what do you use? You use your phone. Who carries like a camera except like, professional maybe YouTubers or photographers or something like that. But to have a pattern of that, it's a red flag. I never thought this could be anything other than a coordinated effort. A spokesperson for the FBI in Miami declined to comment, citing the ongoing cases. The Chinese embassy did not respond to a request for comments. Yeah, of course not. I mean, I know rubber stamp it's just policy to call them, but then of course they're not going to respond. So the rest of the article pretty much says when these individuals were arrested and how they got onto the base. It is extremely long, so I'm going to save you from listening to the drab because we have the gist of it, and it is kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Does this mean we should be expecting some sort of escalation? What if there's something else? What if there's something more? We've got that whole, how shall I say it? And then I'll give it a space, infectious stuff going on over there in China. So the timing's a little bit weird too, isn't it? Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Conspiracy theories will abound on this, I know. But it does seem more likely than not, due to patterns, that they are probably in some way, shape, or form associated with Chinese government or a Chinese entity of some way, shape, or form. Just because patterns, Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one.